Bonjour, boys and girls. We're going to have a lesson in our France packet. So you'll need your packet out, you'll need a pencil, and you'll need something to color with, especially red and blue. So either color pencils or crayons. Probably not markers, it usually bleeds through the paper. So try to get crayons or color pencils out for this. Okay, once you've got those out, go ahead and write your name on the front of the packet if you haven't already, all about France. And then turn to the next page. Okay, so in your packet, you should see what's on the left side of the screen there. It says France. It's got the shape of the country there. And then it's got a couple of fill in the blanks down below. So I added a map in here to kind of show you. When we're looking at the world, here we are over in the United States, over in the continent of North America, right? We live up in this top part up here. To get to France, we would have to cross the Atlantic Ocean, and it's this purple one right there, right underneath my cursor, France, right there. Okay, so that's the shape that we're seeing here, and then there's a little piece down here. The capital of France, we can add that in. Let's do a little, you can draw a little dot, or you can do a little arrow. So right about there. And we can label it. You can write that on yours. Paris, right there. Draw a dot or an arrow. That's the capital. Okay, what is the continent? We live in North America. There's North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, Antarctica. Which one is France in? We're going to write in Europe. Capital E, it's a proper noun, name of something, E-U-R-O-P-E, Europe. And the capital, we've got that labeled. The capital is Paris. P-A-R-I-S, capital P again. It's the name of a proper noun, name of something, capital P-A-R-I-S. Can get those written in. Make sure you have Paris labeled on your map, and then we'll turn to the next page. So if you lived in France, you would have 65 million friends to get to know. There are more than 65 million people that call France their home. That's their country. And they speak a different language from us. They speak French. Although I know a couple of you actually know some French as well. You're studying French, learning about it. I only know a few words. You'll hear them. Bonjour. S'il vous plaît. Au revoir. Well, that's about it. I think I'll learn some more French while we're going through this too. So go ahead and write in. France has a population of more than 65 million people, and they speak French. If you'd like to color the boy and girl in this picture, you can do that later too. These people look like they're celebrating some sort of sports event. Okay, when you're ready, click on the next slide here. We'll talk about the flag. So the flag of France is tricolored. It has 3 colors. Tri means 3, just like a tricycle has 3 wheels. Tricolored. There's lots of flags in Europe that use that tricolor pattern. Some of them have the lines that go vertically. Some of them have them go horizontally. But there's lots of flags. It's very popular to have the tricolors. So on your flag, you can color blue on the left. That's the one closest to the flagpole. White is in the middle. Red is on the right side. So originally, long time ago, there was a royal family that controlled France, and the flag was completely white. White was known as the royal color. So the white is still in there, but then Some people came along and they didn't like how the royal family was controlling France, so they overthrew them and took over and decided to use the colors blue and red. Those colors were the colors of Paris, that capital city, and the uniforms on the soldiers had red and blue on it. So they used that. They have different saints that the colors meant originally, but if you go and ask the French people today, this is what they would say for today the colors mean for them. The blue represents freedom. Okay, you can write that in. The white symbolizes equality, and the red stands for brotherhood. So being united with each other, treating each other equally, and that they have freedom. Okay, you can get those filled in, color your flag. If you need to pause the video, you can. When you're ready, we're going to click on to the next slide. And we're going to read a letter from Louis in France. It says, "Hello, new friends. I would like to tell you a little about my life in France. I live in the west of France in a region called Lower Normandy. My first name is Louis. In English, you might pronounce my name as Louis, but here in France, people pronounce my name as Louis. I'm in the 3rd grade at school. In France, it's not called the 3rd grade, it's called CE2. CE means Cours Élémentaire, or elementary course. I start school every morning at 8:45 a.m. At 11:30 a.m., we have a 2-hour break for lunch. My mom comes to my school and picks me up for lunch. At 1:30 p.m., I return from my afternoon classes. Some of my friends go to the canteen for lunch. In English, you might call it a cafeteria. Kids sit down at an assigned table and wait for food to be brought to them. They eat an appetizer, a main course, and a dessert. Often they eat yogurt or pudding for dessert. It is the same for me at my house. Do you know what my favorite day of the week is? It's Wednesday. We only have school for half a day on Wednesday, but that is not why I love it so much. I love it because Wednesday is the day when I go to my extracurricular lessons and activities during the afternoons. My soccer team meets on Wednesday afternoons, and I also have violin lessons." Okay, turn to the next page. "Although some schools in France have buses to pick up kids, my school does not. My mother walks from our house to the school to pick me up. Then we walk into town to the local bakery. In France, we call a bakery a boulangerie. Boulangerie? Every day at the bakery, we buy a baguette. A baguette is a long loaf of bread with a hard crust. Sometimes my mother lets me buy a treat. My favorite is called pain chocolate. That means chocolate bread in English. It is a piece of sweet bread with pépites, chocolate chips, inside. It is delicious. On weekends, I like to hang out with my family. We often go hiking in a nearby forest. There's a little beach by the lake in the middle of the forest that we often visit when it's warm outside. We have 2 months of vacation during the summer. Our break starts the first week of July and ends the first week of September. One thing I find amusing about what people think about France is that many people believe everyone wears a beret for a hat. I normally don't wear a hat unless it's cold outside, and when it is, I put on my knitted winter hat. I hardly see anyone wear a beret, except for people who are in the French military. It's part of some of their uniforms. I especially love visiting my cousins in Paris. There's so much to see and do there, like the Eiffel Tower in Disneyland Paris. I love my life here in France. I hope your day today is as fun and interesting as mine. Cordialement, Louis." Okay, and then the last thing we're going to do today is answer some questions about Louis's letter. What do Louis and his mother buy every day after school? Write your answer below and draw a picture of what you think it looks like. Do you remember what they did? We can go back and look right up here. Every day at the bakery, we buy a baguette. A baguette is a long loaf of bread with a hard crust. So you can write in baguette and draw a picture of the bread. Baguette. I'm not going to be able to draw the picture of the bread on the computer here, so you can draw your picture. There's an example right down here. Looks like an oval with some ovals inside of it. What does Louie do at lunchtime during the week? Do you remember? Should we go back and look? I think if we turn back to the first page of his letter, it tells us about it. It says, at 11:30 a.m., we have a 2-hour break for lunch. My mom comes to my school and picks me up for lunch. At 1:30, I return from my afternoon classes. So what does Louie do at lunchtime during the week? Louie goes home for lunch. You can put it in your own words. Which day of the week is Louie's favorite day? Do you remember? Right down here we can find it on the first page of his letter. Do you know what my favorite day of the week is? It's Wednesday. We only have school for half a day on Wednesday, but that is not why I love it so much. I love it because Wednesday is the day I go to my extracurricular lessons and activities during the afternoons. My soccer team meets on Wednesday afternoons, and I also have violin lessons. So why does he love it? Which day of the week is his favorite? Wednesday is his favorite day. What does Louie do on Wednesdays? Write and draw your answer below. Well, I'll write it. You guys can write and draw. He plays, which sport was it? Soccer. And which instrument? Violin. All right, I look forward to seeing that in Seesaw when you're all done with it. Thanks so much.